In area news impacting us is Tuesday morning, January 24th, 2017. Close to 50 people attended a march in Fort Kent on Saturday. The event paralleled hundreds of other marches throughout the country on the day after President Trump's inauguration. Fort Kent speakers addressed the importance of access to health care and quality education for all, as well as the need to protect the environment. Educator Rory Collins co-organized the event along with former Cross Lake resident Julie Daigle. Maine Senator Troy Jackson spoke on the issue of health care at the Fort Kent gathering prior to marching along with the group. Jackson said, "I've watched people in my life that didn't have health care. Those people aren't here with us." He added, "Other people with government-sponsored health care are deciding who else is worthy." We had a nice stretch of some pleasant weather, but that's about to change. The National Weather Center in Caribou has issued a winter storm warning for the county. The winter storm warning is in effect from 9 a.m. this morning to 1 p.m. Wednesday afternoon. We should expect snow, sleet, and freezing rain with accumulation of 4 to 8 inches and ice accumulations around 1/10 of an inch. Channel X Radio will continue to keep you posted. In other news, a fire destroyed the home of a prominent doctor in the community of Florenceville, Bristol. The home was owned by Dr. Colin Lockhart and his wife Joy. Colin Lockhart was the only one home at the time and made it out safely. He and his wife are staying at another family home in the area. A cause for the fire has yet to be determined, and they did have insurance on the home. 2 of 3 men accused of first-degree murder in the death of Tilly resident Wayne Rattray were in Woodstock Provincial Court yesterday for preliminary inquiries. Kurt Andrew Hudnut of Moncton and James Andrew Melanson, also of Moncton, were in court yesterday for the first day of preliminary inquiries. They will be back in court again on Wednesday for a second day. Rattray was reported missing on March 2nd, and his home and truck were both destroyed by fire in separate incidents believed to have been arson. Rattray's remains were discovered in the Renew area on May 21st. A Maine lawmaker is working on a new ethics bill that would curtail gifts, free food, and speaking and consulting payments from drug companies to the physicians in the state. Democratic Representative Scott Hammond said he intends to model it on ethics legislation in Minnesota that makes it illegal to receive more than $50 in gifts per year. Federal data shows that pharmaceutical industry spending in Maine on doctors totaled $11.9 million from 2013 to 2015. Hammond says he wants people to be confident knowing that their doctor isn't receiving thousands of dollars in gifts from pharmaceutical companies. Senator Susan Collins introduced a bill yesterday to replace Obamacare. The Patient Freedom Act of 2017 would ensure there is no gap in coverage for those relying on the current system. Collins, along with Senators Bill Cassidy, Shelley Moore, and Johnny Iskinson, introduced the bill yesterday morning. Collins said our current healthcare system is under considerable stress and will collapse if Congress does not act. Collins said the Patient Freedom Act of 2017 will help ensure that more Americans have access to affordable health care that improves choice and helps restrain costs. Senators Collins and Cassidy then had a chance yesterday afternoon to speak on the Senate floor to urge their colleagues to support it. The Patient Freedom Act of 2017 is expected to return power to the states, increase access to quality, affordable health care for all Americans, improve patient choice, and begin to bring coverage to nearly 30 million Americans who still don't have health insurance. There was an armed robbery at the CIBC Bank in Moncton yesterday morning. A man entered the bank just before noontime yesterday and approached the teller saying he had a weapon and demanded cash. The man is believed to be between 25 and 30 years old and was approximately 6 foot tall and had a medium build. He had a reddish-colored beard and was wearing a hat. Anyone with information about this armed robbery is asked to contact the Kodiak Regional RCMP at 506-857-2400. Authorities say a Newcastle woman bit a police officer as he tried to pull a topless woman down from a pillar during the Women's March on Maine rally outside the State House. Capitol Police Chief Russell Garvin said Officer Alan Carr attempted to grab a belt loop on the unidentified topless woman on Saturday. That's when a second woman bit him on the hand. Police say it's not unlawful for women to be topless in Maine. and the move was for safety reasons. Emergency responders treated Carr at the scene, and he was then taken to a hospital for additional treatment. 64-year-old Teresa Frisbee Calder has been issued a summons on an assault charge. Attempts to reach her were not immediately successful. An acclaimed Passamaquoddy canoe builder remembered for his traditional art and activism has passed away. David Moses Bridges died on January 20th out of cancer after what loved ones called a courageous battle with an aggressive form of sinus cancer. Bridges was an award-winning basket maker and over the last several decades gained international recognition for the boats he made from birch bark and spruce roots. He focused on the canoe hull form that was developed by the Wabanaki. He was a trustee of Abbey Museum and an environmentalist who fought for Native American water rights. Bridges' art and efforts to teach other young Native craftsmen was the subject of a recent documentary, Rhythms of the Heart, by a Maine director. Finally, the Canadian dollar is trading at 75.26 cents US, and the US dollar is trading at $1.32.86 Canadian. Well, you just been uploaded. This is Channel X News, where news matters more.